Hello, hello, hello once again. This is DJ Cool Hal, and this is Bajan Life. Welcome, welcome this afternoon. Now, today's topic is history of the Caribbean. Now, my definition of a hero is somebody that does something extraordinary, whether it's with their job, whether they see something happen in life, but they come to the aid of somebody, some people, or some community. Now, these specific heroes are not the only heroes in the world, but these are some guys I chose because I learned West Indian history, and these are some of the guys I looked up to. These are some of the guys that shaped my life and helped my community way before my time and when I grew up, to help shape the Caribbean, the future, and help us know who we are. So let's first start off with some heroes from my favorite place. I know you guys know this is my favorite place because this is the place I was born, Barbados. So the first hero we're going to talk about is a man that led the slave revolution in Barbados. A man that they don't know much about his biographical information. They just know him as a man called Bussa. And he was very influential and very much involved in the change in Barbados. Now, Bussa, he was born in West Africa and was captured by the slave merchants and was sold into slavery to the British in Barbados. He was known for having great strength, determination, and courage. He played an intricate role in changing the social and political climate of the island forever. He led what is now called the Bussa Revolution, which was followed by it was a slave rebellion, and it was known as the Bussa Rebellion. And after that was followed by other larger rebellions in Guyana and eventually Jamaica. Bussa was a man that led people. They had planned it in like 3 or 4 plantations, and about 400 people got killed. But that was Bussa. He was a very big and strong person who helped shape the history of Barbados. And that, my friend, is Bussa. The next hero I'm going to talk about is very dear to my heart because I grew up and I remember him running for Prime Minister. I remember him running against some great people like Tom Adams. The Honorable Errol Barrow was born in the northern parish of St. Lucie. Barrow was a social and political leader. Also known as the Father of Independence, he became the first Prime Minister of Barbados. He served as Prime Minister for a very long time, maybe about 10 years. He was the Premier of Barbados from 1961 to 1966, and then in 66 he became the first Prime Minister, which he held office until 1976, and then again he was elected to the post and led the Caribbean Free Trade Association called CARFTA. Barrow was a great leader. And let me tell you, Errol Barrow was probably the best prime minister in my estimation in the history of Barbados. He brought Barbados into the new future, new millennium, which back then, and he put us on the map. He also served as a pilot in the RFK in one of the world wars. And that, my friend, was Errol Barrow, one of my personal favorites and my hero. Another man we're going to talk about was one of the best sportsmen of his time, and it was Garfield Sobers, who was knighted by the king. He was a cricketer. He played the sport of cricket in Barbados. Sobers was born July 19th, 1936, and was one of the greatest sportsmen of his time. He is known as one of the best all-around cricketers. He was a great batsman, bowler, and defender. His batting style was left hand, and his bowling style was left hand fast medium, slow left arm orthodox, and slow left arm Chinaman. Sobers was the greatest cricketer of all time. And I don't care who people say, and this would be a big argument with me. I watched this man growing up. And up to this day, I'm not in Barbados, I'm not in Carribean, but I still watch cricket. And nobody is as good as Sir Garfield Sobers. And anybody want to argue that point with me, I'll bring out the statistics. Yes, his records will be surpassed, but he was a gentleman, a scholar, and a great cricketer. And that, my friend, is Garfield Sobers. The next hero I want to talk about, and it's not I'm picking them from a specific country, I'm just picking people who were influential in my life and that I heard about, is Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey was born in Jamaica in 1887. He became the leader in the black nationalist movement. He employed economic ideas from Pan-Africanism. He founded the Negro World newspaper in 1916 when he moved to New York, and a movement to repatriate all blacks back to Africa. And Marcus Garvey wasn't necessarily a racist. He was just somebody that saw black people suffering in Jamaica and the United States and thought it would be better for people to return from where they were stolen years ago. So he actually came up with a plan. It didn't really ever come true, but he founded a lot of good movements that led to a lot of black independence. And that, my friend, is Marcus Garvey. The next man on our list is another Jamaican, Paul Bogle, who was born free in 1882. He was a Baptist deacon. Poverty and injustice led Bogle to lead a protest in Montego Bay. And in a violent protest that followed with full official forces, nearly 500 people were killed. Bogle was captured and hung. But this forceful demonstration achieved its objective. He was recognized for his efforts and named a national hero. And that, my friend, is Paul Bogle. Last, but certainly not least, is one of my all-time favorites, Robert Nesta Marley. Bob Marley was born in Jamaica in 1945. He was a songwriter who blended mostly reggae, ska, and rocksteady. He had a distinctive songwriting and vocal style that resonated with a worldwide audience. Bob Marley made music, in my opinion, that showed showed the struggle of all black people and promoted social change and justice. He was a committed Rastafarian who infused a sense of spirituality in his music. Bob Marley and his music lived on and remain a great message in the case of black people and helping black people. And Bob Marley, even long after he died, still has some of the most legendary songs, like No Woman No Cry, Rat Race, Zimbabwe. I can go on and on and on and on and on. All of his songs about the social climate and the sign of the times. And even to this day, Bob Marley's music is still very significant. And that, my friend, was Bob Marley. Now, all of these men that I named today are heroes. People who, at the risk of their own life, whether they were making money or not, stood up for their community and stood up for equality and justice for all people. And I would like you to join me next time as I highlight some of my American heroes who may also be some of yours. Until next time, peace and cocoa grease.